We have a few questions. First question is from Prabhas Sundar Sen. Where and how do we draw the line between loving unconditionally and becoming a doormat?
See, we need to understand this. What's being right now passed around as love is generally a mutual benefit scheme. You give me this, I'll give you that. If you don't give me that, I don't give you this. This is not said, but it's done.
Okay.
It's done, isn't it? It's not said. So human beings have physical, psychological, emotional, economic, social and various other kinds of needs. To fulfill these things, when you say, I love you, instead of making these things ugly needs that we have to, ugly transactions that we have to do, you give me this, you give me that, to bring some aesthetic and beauty to this transaction, we coat it with a certain amount of sweetness of emotion, which we call as love affair, where the transactions happen more smoothly, because once we are human, somehow doing basic transactions in a basic way makes us feel ugly. If you take food with both your hands and eat it, it's ugly, isn't it? We want to eat in a certain way. Similarly, to fulfill our physical needs, emotional needs, economic needs, we have arrangements where we can conduct this in a more aesthetic manner. I'm not saying it's right or wrong, this is the fact of life. So this level of love, I call this is enough to fulfill the domestic needs of one's, for two people to live together, to fulfill their needs, to produce children, to raise them. Domestic level of love affair people can have. But if people want to have a love affair which will bring them to an ultimate union, then not many people are competent to do that. Not many people are ready to have that kind of a love affair where it'll make two lives into one. Two becomes actually one in experience. That will need something more. Most people are competent of using love to fulfill the domestic needs. But to go beyond that, they are not ready. And when I say they're not ready either, I'm not talking about this person or that person. So when one is ready and another is not ready, or one is making an effort and another doesn't have the effort, then it feels like somebody is becoming a doormat. That is what it is, that it feels like they're being exploited. But above all, one who is longing to use love as a way of ultimate union should not be bothered about being doormat, this and that. In India, we have a culture where by choice people name themselves as slaves. You know, Ram Das, Krishna Das, this Das, that Das, what is it? They're openly saying, I'm a slave, I'm a doormat, I want to be a doormat. They're not saying, am I afraid I'll be used as a doormat, they're saying, I want to be a doormat. So this is a kind of love that they are wanting to use for ultimate union. This is not for domestic purposes. So if you're looking for ultimate union, then love is a different affair. If you're looking for conducting of domestic affairs, then you must manage dignity, who gets what. If anybody is using more than what they should, then if you don't give me that, I don't give you this, okay? Otherwise, if you're looking for ultimate union, you should not think of all these things, that's a different affair. That's not much social thing. If you fall in love itself, you become vulnerable to somebody.
Yes.
Without becoming vulnerable, there is no love affair. You have to fall. When you fall, somebody may raise you or somebody may walk over you.
Yes.
But the thing is, the experience of your life is beautiful because you fell, not because they raised you, not because they walked over you, because you could actually have the sense of abandon in you to fall. That was the beauty of your love affair, not what they gave you, what they did to you, this no. The beauty was you sat alone and you think you really love this person so much you're willing to die. That was the most beautiful moment. Not the moment they gave you a big gift, not the moment they gave you a diamond ring, not the moment they said this and that about you, no. You just sat here and you're willing to die. That was the moment. Not just a doormat, you're willing to be the dust on their feet, okay? I'm not saying you should be like that. I'm saying where love transformed itself into devotion. If you fall in love itself, you become very vulnerable, but there are still some shreds of sanity in love affairs that you can recover. But if you become a devotee, there is no sanity left and you cannot recover. So before you tread such a land, you must see whether you offer it or not. What are your goals, first of all? If your goal is to make a life, a cautioned, a very measured love affair is good. But your thing is, you want to dissolve into the process of life, you don't want to have a good life, you're not planning to have a good life, you just want to become an explosion of life, you don't care what you get and what you don't get, then you become a devotee. Devotion means it's your intention to dissolve into your object of devotion. So a devotee is not expecting whether I'll become a doormat or a crown on somebody's head. Whatever I become, as long as I can touch your feet or head or whatever, it's fine with me.
Yeah.
So that's a different state of existence. I don't think somebody who's looking for domestic level of love affair should even ask that question.